What's up, guys? This is your coach Kai here, and I'm so happy that I'm gonna be talking about this binging problem that been ruining everybody's physique. You go hard in the gym, you train hard, and now you're losing it. You're losing control over food, and that's messing up your progress. So that's why I created this video to help you, and this is gonna get you from binging pretty much all the time, breaking to the pantry at midnight or eating the whole fridge, to actually controlling that and seeing progress. So you guys are going to enjoy this video. Stay until the end and do one favor for me before we start the video. Subscribe to my channel, will help me so much, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Take it easy. We're gonna get started, guys. It's time to get started, and I'm gonna give you free game for you guys. I don't see any other coaches doing this, by the way. And you're gonna learn so much, especially if you've been binging and ruining your entire progress. Like your waste, like you feel like you're wasting your time, right? You're going to the gym, you're going hard, and you've been breaking to the pantry at midnight. And it's usually when nobody's watching, believe it or not, right? There's a few triggers to it, but everything's fixable, guys. There's a little bit of biology, science, and everything's fixable, guys. Let's go to the next slide. Stay tuned because there's one of the slides that I'm going to be talking about my own experience, because binging almost ruined my whole prep for my bodybuilding competition. So stay tuned. I think this is the first time I made myself so big into the screen, but at least you guys can see me and I can explain everything. One of the drivers to this, guys, driver number one is energy debt. It's what I call, what we all know is a calorie deficit, right? You're burning this many calories and you're eating this much, right? You're in an energy debt. So the binge isn't where you went wrong, it's where it showed up. So what happens? It's basically like under eating ramps up hunger. Everybody knows that, which is pretty much why a lot of people are like binging. And sometimes, like by the evening, the pull toward food is physical, not a thought you can argue with, right? You lose control. It's basically you run to the pantry, and next thing you know, you already ate a whole bag of chips. You need that. You need those calories, those extra calories, so you can even like fight like your own thoughts, because it's gonna be physical. You're gonna run and then you're gonna end up eating, and when you realize you're already like feeling guilty and there's no going back. There's ways to fix it, right? And it's a pattern. The blowout almost always follows a day you'd call perfect. A low day isn't a win, it's a setup. Because if you go too low during the day, what happens is that at the end of the day, after your busy career, you're an entrepreneur, business owner, you've been dealing with employees, you've been dealing with coworkers all day, you're stressed. At the end of the day, you want to eat because you're starving. You use your brain so much, which consumes a lot of energy. Study says that just your brain takes up 130 grams of carbs. So that's huge, right? And imagine if you're zero carbs for the whole day. You're going to be starving. That's why you're going to end up binging at the end of the day. For most people, that's what happens. And the fix for this, eat enough early, from low protein and volume, so you don't walk into the evening running on fumes. This is a game changer for all my clients. most of them when they start with me, they're not eating enough protein. So when I add, especially if they're not fat, right? I'm talking about somebody that starts with me that is already training, and they're pretty much they want to do the body recomposition. What we do is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and that changes like big time for them. They don't feel like hungry. They're not starving throughout the whole day anymore, because now compared to what they were eating before, they're eating so much protein that they feel so much better, right? They feel alive again and full, right? Um, Eating more protein will give you, that feeling of satiety. Like, so you're happy, right? Like you're happy in a way that you might crave other things. It's not that you're not gonna crave anything else, but you're gonna feel satisfied. You know what I mean? And we're gonna jump into the next slide, and there's a lot more to come. Stay tuned, guys. The driver number two that a lot of people go through is restriction, makes food louder, right? The second a food becomes off limits, you can stop thinking about it. So let's say for a reason you think bread is bad for you, right? Or I've heard it before, right? If you have some knowledge about nutrition, you should know that rice and bread are not bad for you. They're actually great, unless you have a celiac disease, you shouldn't be eating maybe like foods with gluten, which is most bread will have, right? Rice is gluten free, which is great for you. Even people with celiac diseases, they can have white rice, brown rice, right? And it depends on their condition, but that's not the case for you. You can pretty much eat anything. I'm not talking to those who have a celiac disease. So, guys, if you're not eating the things you like, chances are you're gonna break into the pantry at midnight. And that's what happens. So that's why most of my clients, they have a list of ingredients of things they love. And that's what makes their diet way better, right? There's like those ideal ingredients that I like my clients to have. And I'm always going to instruct them to eat better or find a better choice, right? Because my goal is to also teach. So it's not just like to give what works, but also teach, right? Because sometimes people think this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good. But that's not how our body works, right? We got to find the right calories for you, the right macros. And through that, we get you a whole meal plan with things you love, right? And that's how you can stay consistent. And the problem here, the Last Supper. So, mentality creates the urgency. The rule caused the binge, right? The fix, build foods in on purpose, in normal amounts, regularly, enough that they stop feeling scarce, right? When nothing's forbidden, nothing has that pull. Uh, Obviously, like if a client tells me, yo, I need ice cream every day, like, do you actually need ice cream every day? Like, be honest with yourself. But if you want to have ice cream, once a week type of thing, and you just want the body recomposition, there's actually ice creams that doesn't have a lot of calories, right? You just have to know them and understand nutrition facts. That's all you need. Because at the end of the day, if you just want to have ice cream, it's not gonna ruin you know, your progress. What's gonna ruin your progress is the repetition and the binging. Like the binging, repetitive binging will ruin everything. That's the one thing you want to avoid. And we're gonna jump to the next slide because there's a lot more to it too. So stay tuned. I had to make myself smaller now. So the driver three, food's doing a job it was never meant to do. Sorry, I'm just laughing because I'm a lot smaller on the screen now. But at least you guys will be able to understand everything. So the trigger, guys: work, busy schedule, family, stress, boredom, exhaustion. Right? At the end of the day, you worked hard, you providing for your family, and you still have to give attention to your kids, right? To your wife, and you want to be there, right? But you're exhausted, right? So how do you compensate that? With food. Most people just say, "Honey, just give me whatever is in the fridge. I'm hungry. I'm starving." And that's when you ruin everything. That's when you're doing so well, you're almost, breaking that barrier, that roadblock that you reached, but then you're stuck again because you're overdoing it, right? So usually one of these in the 30 minutes before you eat, right? Which is the stress, the boredom, the exhaustion. Why sticks? Eating generally calms you down. Chewing makes you happy. So those are the things you have to watch for, because eating is great. I love eating, to be honest. That's why I have 5 consistent meals a day, because I love eating. And I don't mind preparing my own food and eating whole foods. That's why and how I stay shredded all year round. And eating generally calms you down, right? Because it works. Your brain keeps reaching for it. Every time the pattern gets stronger, guys. So you do it today, and then you do it again tomorrow, but with more food. And the fix to it, pick one thing you do first. Go on a walk. I told this to a client just yesterday. I said, when you feel like binging, because he was sick. So he was sick and he didn't feel like cooking. But he didn't cook, but he went to the pantry, the fridge, and binged, which is terrible. And even by doing that, he didn't gain weight because he's following the system, right? So he helped. He helped a little bit. But all this binging might reflect on the next check-in date, right? That's the problem. Like you keep eating, and then that weight will actually show on the scale. So that's a huge problem. But pick one thing that you like. So I told my client, drink a glass of water. It works. Go on a walk, a shower, 10 minutes in the car. You get home, you just breathe. Breathing is very important. Like inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. That's you doing this proper breathing. You can get over thoughts that is pretty much like damaging your brain, like things that are negative. That's one thing that you can do, the breathing. And also those thoughts of like food, right? Think about things that calm you down without having to be chewing. Have a gum, drink a pop, a diet pop. um, I'm sure that craving, that hunger will go away. It works for most of my clients. Driver number 4, the Shane loop. One eye doesn't do your progress. 10 days of screw it does. That's what I said. What my client didn't reflect on the skill this week. But if you keep doing it, 10 days of screw it does, right? So it's the binge, the guilt, the energy debt, and the compensation, right? Those are the things you want to do. You want to compensate after. What's compensating? Not talking to me, especially the coach, right? People, especially when they have a coach, they try to hide it. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna take some carbs off here, some fats off here, and nobody's gonna notice." But you know it, and you feel guilty about it, right? You have that guilt inside you, and you want to compensate at all cost. It's the worst mistake you're gonna do, right? Because we gotta fix that cycle. That's the first thing we want to improve, not just compensating, right? The guilt's the part that keeps the cycle spinning, not the original slip. So, guys, there's a lot of ways to fix this, and we're gonna get to a lot more things for you to do. You're gonna learn a lot more things for you to avoid the binging. So let's go to the next slide. Breaking the shame loop. The guys who get lean aren't the ones who never lose control. They're the ones who go straight back to normal like nothing happened. I have a whole pizza right now, right? A whole pizza right now. This is the scenario. A whole pizza right now. And that's my first meal of the day, right? What would I do? Well, this evening, I would just pretty much go to bed, after 1, 2 hours, because I don't want to go to bed with a full stomach. Did you guys know that you need gravity to digest the food? So I would sit up like this, nice, and I would digest, right? Stay hydrated, getting all that sodium like out of my body, right? And I will go to bed. Tomorrow I will wake up and not go out, you know, for brunch with the family. Their family is gonna eat healthy too. So I'm gonna make the same breakfast that I eat every day and make sure my family, might be enjoying the same thing or they can have something else. Because I know at this house, I'm the one eating the most amount of pizza. They don't feel as guilty as me, right? But I'm just saying, this is just a scenario, right? But it's pretty much it. You gotta, eat the next day normal meal. This is your only job, by the way. No fasting, no punishment. Stop punishing yourself. You already made the mistake once. You don't want to make the mistake of punishment, right? When you punish yourself, you go back to binging again eventually. So don't punish yourself. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until Monday. A lot of people will do this, especially if they're binging on a Friday, on a Saturday. They're going to be like, okay, Sunday, one more day. It's not going to ruin everything. Or I already ruined everything this week, so I'll go back Monday, right? But then that's when you fuck it up because that Monday might never come for you. That's the saddest part, right? So don't wait for Monday. Like, do it on Sunday, guys. Enjoy with your family, enjoy with your loved ones, have fun, but go back to the plan the day after. That's how you stay shred all year round. I've done it all, guys. And that's one of the things I use all the time to stay in shape. A word from experience. Competing as a bodybuilder, I've been through prep. You can be the most disciplined guy in the room and still lose control. Because at a certain point, it stops being about discipline, guys. I was very disciplined. I was doing everything my coach was telling me. But the calorie deficit, that energy, that I was burning so many calories, like probably like around like 500 calories, and eating like 2,700 calories, 3,000 calories, intense cardio every day. I was burning so many calories, guys, and eating this little compared to what I was burning. So that was creating that energy, right? So the version of lean you see on a bodybuilding stage is temporary and it costs something. You shouldn't be chasing it year round. And there's no reason to feel like a failure for not holding a standard that was never meant to be held year round. This physique that you see right here, this is me, number 21. I got my golden medal. I qualified for nationals. This was the regional competition. I was in the best shape of my life in this picture, but in the worst mental state of my life at the same time because I wasn't feeling great. I was feeling terrible because I wasn't eating enough. I was burning so many calories and I had an eating disorder. Like, thanks to my knowledge and understanding about nutrition, I was able to get out of it without a therapist, without a nutritionist, without a doctor. And I fixed it, right, with proper nutrition. It's tough, man. Like most of the binges like that I had during my prep was alone, right? Because you're ashamed to eat so much around other people. So that's why, you know, and you see it all the time. Like you go to parties, like you always see that overweight person, that out of shape person who's like, oh, I don't eat much. No, I don't like that. I don't like. They just don't want to feel embarrassed in front of everybody. But the truth is, they eat so much. They eat like a pig, and that's one of the reasons they're out of shape. And trust me, I'm not ashamed to eat a lot in front of other people um, because I'm in shape, and people are like, "Oh, you eat that? You eat this?" Yeah, I'm just enjoying my life. But the next meal, I'm gonna go back to normal. The next day, I go back to normal, and that's how I stay in shape all year round. And that's what most of my clients are doing, right? They have their cheat meal and they go right back into their program, and that's how they stay shredded year round, the same way. Putting it all together, guys, we're almost done here. So much free game for you guys. This content is like, it's not just because I'm making it, but it's fine. I would love to see something like this myself when I was clueless about everything, when I was starting the gym. Like I didn't have like anything like this, and I don't see any coaches right now doing this, because everything they offer you have to pay. And I'm here giving you guys so much free game, and because I want you guys to improve, whether you have me as a coach or not, right? So eat enough early from low protein, just like I said, at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, because you're around 20% body fat, 25, even 25. Like 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is totally fine. So make sure you do that, because that will help you so much with the satiety, will help you stay full, and will help you build tons tons of muscle, right? Because that's what you want. You want that lean mass and lose body fat at the same time. Stop banning foods, Stop banning those foods that you like. Just build them in regularly, right? Redirect the stress, give it somewhere else to go, right? So it could be a walk, drink a glass of water, like I said, have a diet pop, chew a gum, things that might make you feel more calm, and focus on the breathing, guys. Breathing. It's very important. Shorten recovery. Next normal meal. That's it. Just like I said, guys, you ruin one time, you go right back to the plan. Don't wait. Don't keep eating bullshit. Because if you keep eating garbage, that's when you start gaining weight all back, right? Those 20 pounds that you keep losing every year, you don't want that. It's the same 20 pounds every year. It's embarrassing. We got to change that scenario, right? Every one of these happens upstream of the movement. You're standing in the kitchen. You're not trying to win a fight at 10 p.m. You're building a week where that fight doesn't start, right? So it's not a fight you want to pick at 10 p.m. and you're not trying to win that at that time, right, guys? It's something that you build over time. So when it actually happens, when you have some ice cream, some sweets, some pizza, burger, whatever you like, sushi, um, you don't have to, feel guilty anymore, because I go on vacation, I enjoy with my family. Like, I want to eat. Eating is great, and I don't want restrictions. That's why this good eating habit that I've built throughout my 14 years of experience in the fitness industry, bodybuilding, uh, helped me get here at a low body fat percentage, and I can do this like effortlessly because it became easy for me, right? And again, I still enjoy foods that I like. So, okay, this slide is very important because when it goes beyond habits, important to name. For some people, this goes past habits into an actual eating disorder. That's what I was talking about when I was getting ready for my bodybuilding competition, guys. The eating disorder could be a problem that can only be solved with the therapist, with the doctor, and sometimes a nutritionist too, right? You need all those three together sometimes. But let's not get to that point because it could be that bad, right? It could ruin your whole life. You could gain a lot of weight, and the only way to solve this is taking care of your mental state first. Just like I said, when I was in the best shape of my life, inside here wasn't so great. So make sure, if this is you, please go get real support. I'm a nutrition coach, I'm a fitness coach, but there's things that are I cannot solve for you, right? So you might need all of that if your case is extremely bad. I hope you're somebody that doesn't need any of this, right? Because it's just once in a while. If you're always binging, if you have that eating disorder, uh, please go get help. I highly recommend it. Last but not least, you don't need more discipline. You need a setup where food isn't the only thing holding you together. I've done the extreme version. It doesn't work long term for anybody. That's exactly why I build things you can actually keep, right, guys? So don't let food hold you back, right? Oh, a diet's not for me. Um, it's okay. I'll just be fat. You know, don't be that person, right? Because there's ways to fix it. And that's why you have Coach Kai here. You have many other great coaches. Um, and you just need the right person to guide you, right? In most cases, it is that you need the right system. That's why I created the shredded method, which is like one of my videos that you can check it out in my channel. Um, they'll actually help you so much as well because it's a long video, pretty much breaking down everything that my clients do to achieve greatness, basically. And all of you should be watching if that's something you're interested in, right? Like getting in shape. Not a character flaw. This is biology. It's fixable. So that's the great thing, guys. It's something we can fix and probably together as a team, right? Me and you. Um, so, want the system built for you guys? Apply using the link below in the description to see if you're a good fit, right? First, I like to book a call with my prospect clients, right? And see if we're a good fit because I don't just work with anyone. And but I know I could definitely be helping a lot of you guys. So also shoot me a follow on Instagram. The link is right here in the description as well. It was a pleasure again to talk about this binging problem because it's a problem that most people that I talk to are going through uh, something like this, right? So subscribe to my channel as well, will help me so much. And I hope you guys love the video. Stay tuned for more, and God bless you. Take it easy.